Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Doctor Who Reviews, Overheated Edition.
Well, one of us is.
I'm not denying it.
I live in a civilized country where we have air conditioning.
Yeah, rub it in, why don't you?
Nee, we have air conditioning.
But we have clean water.
So do we, it's just not everywhere. By the way, the stuff in Flint, still happening.
That's what I was alluding to, yes.
Never gonna forget that.
Anyway, this time around, we are looking at Tom Baker's serial, The Ark in Space.
Yay!
And to look back at it with me...
It's not just the serial, The Ark.
Boo.
Yet.
Yeah, now, last week you said, no, we're never doing it. No, take that.
We have that on tape, Kat. We have that on tape.
Yes, but you know what you don't have on tape?
You doing a pinky
If
promise?
my fingers were crossed.
Yeah, I thought so.
Thankfully for you, they were not.
Had me going for a second there. So anyway, to talk
Or
about The
were
Ark in
they?
Space with me, my two usual co-hosts, and they are firstly, to my virtual left, the time has come at last to throw away his mask, except not, because you know, the pandemic is not over. It's Freezing Inferno.
I'm right on keeping my mask on. Hello, Mr. Symphogear Watcher.
Yeah, thanks, I hate it.
No, you hate it, he says, as he just said a minute ago before we started recording. I don't hate it.
No, I don't hate it. I hate the fact you've got me to watch it, but I don't hate it.
Well, you know, it could be worse.
I kind of hate the fact that I don't hate it, because I thought, right, I'll watch one episode, I'll say it's absolutely terrible, and I'll never have to watch it again. I don't hate it. Oh no, I don't hate it.
Yeah, exactly. You watch one, and then it's like 4 hours later.
I'm actually
you're
interested to
in
see where the story might be going. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh, trust me, you're in for a wild ride.
Wonderful. Just what I wanted to hear. Not. And to my virtual right, so you're a rocket scientist? That don't impress her much. It's Concave Usurper, better known as Kat.
I also never was impressed by Brad Pitt at all.
So you're just Shania Twain then, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, everybody, it's time to reveal my secret identity as Shania Twain.
That's why you never appear on webcam.
I know this is what I actually sound like, you know, auto-tune and stuff.
We've solved the mystery.
But whose bed have your boots been under?
Oh wow, that's a deep cut.
That's for me to know and you to never find out.
I'm impressed you know that song.
I'm impressed you know any Shania Twain.
Country.
Yeah, I know, but still. That song didn't even get released in the UK, so.
Like I said, I'm from this country.
You're from Switzerland?
What?
That's where she lives.
What?
That's where she lives.
But she's Canadian.
I know, but now she lives in Switzerland because she's married to the chief executive officer of Nestle chocolate. So, anyway, Ark in Space.
Hey, so this is a well-regarded serial, I would say. I mean, it's the second Tom Baker story, but it can be argued that it's the first of one of Tom Baker's eras, considering his debut Robot is basically a John Pertwee script, but Tom Baker happens to be in it.
Yeah.
And also, this is the first story by the duo of Philip Hinchcliffe, the producer for the mid-70s, the first real era of Doctor Who, and the script editor and writer of the story, Robert Holmes, who we covered a little while ago.
And these two are very well regarded in fandom.
And hey, Robert Holmes wrote The Ark in Space, and he wasn't dying of a horrible illness at the time, so...
He did technically write it on mistake, though. He originally was not supposed to write it. But the original writer was in Italy, I believe, at the time, during a big old postal, what do they call it, protest. So mail was extremely slow, so he was basically incommunicado.
A postal strike. Yeah.
Yeah, strike, that's the word I'm looking for. I have no idea what you're talking about. I just knew all that. Anyways,
There you go.
they did pay the writer, but then they also did a page 1 rewrite, which Holmes took.
This is the start of what is affectionately known as the Hinchcliffe horror era, where the stories are basically dark and gothic and
Alien.
terrifying.
Alien.
And, well, it's funny because this predates Alien, so who ripped
I know,
off who?
it's really funny because this is... I'm starting to think that Aliens ripped this one off.
It could very well have done that because this is very similar to Alien.
Yeah.
It's extremely similar.
Well, it could be playing on the same tropes or what. I don't know if Ridley Scott looked at 70s Doctor Who.
I would
Yes,
argue that the Ark in
this
Space
was a
is
budget.
basically Alien crossed with the Thing.
I would say it's also kind of a little bit Aliens because there's that... Spoilers for Aliens, although if you haven't seen it by now, seriously, what the hell are you doing? There's that bit with Sarah Jane crawling through the tunnel, and it's exactly like Bishop doing it in Aliens.
Yeah.
So it's like a combination of the two.
Did James Cameron watch this shit too?
So Ridley Scott was a massive Doctor Who fan, so was James Cameron, and they ripped this off wholesale. Great.
Yeah.
James Cameron sitting there in PBS going, "Oh shit, I should make this with a budget."
And Christmas lights.
You're not wrong because the budget of this I have to question.
Well, I mean,
It's not
70s
that
Doctor
bad.
But part one is extremely interesting because this is the first time that a particular part of a Doctor Who serial contains no actors other than the main cast.
I mean, not the first time, but the first time in a while.
The first time since the
As
Edge
of
of Destruction.
Yeah, Edge of Destruction, and you had something like the Space Museum, which that's a deep cut on itself, but this really didn't happen since the mid 60s. So it's kind of a throwback in a lot of ways. But also saves budget, you know.
Yeah, I do get the feeling they were saving a lot of budget throughout this whole series.
Oh, I mean, they're saving budget through the whole series because these sets are used again at the end of the series in Revenge of the Cybermen because they go back to the space station.
Yes,
But,
the,
like,
the one
at
story
the
they didn't
time-
save the budget for.
But that's a whole other can of worms that we don't have to get into, thankfully.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about. This looks fine.
It looks.
No, I'm not saying it's a criticism that it's low budget. I'm just saying you can spot it's low budget.
I mean, I could not, so...
It being low budget is actually a compliment in a way because it's
Look,
still a good
having
story.
seen in the previous week a frog clipping through itself, this is pretty high budget to me. I hate to tell you.
Well, we'll get to that when we get to the effects, such as there are, of this particular story. But
Speaking
they've
of effects, once we open the story, we get a model shot of the Ark in space.
I think you mean Thunderbird 5?
Okay, this is funny because I guess the special edition DVD and Blu-ray have an option. You know how they have the option for added visual effects. You know, we did that
Yeah.
with Enlightenment, and they did it for other stories as well. I think the only thing they changed in the Ark in Space special edition is that they CG this spaceship. Everything else exactly the same, but this one model shot and like the 2 times it shows up in the serial are rendered in 3D. Ooh.
Do they just change
Why?
it to a still picture of Thunderbird 5? Because they might as well.
Well,
Brainiac, nobody else has seen Thunderbird except for you.
I find that very hard to believe.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I know it's a TV show, but that's
It was
about
a
it.
puppet show by Jerry Anderson, and Thunderbird 5 was it didn't do anything. It was a space station that took all the calls
Oh, okay.
and basically said,
Well,
right, you
either
need to send
way-
the boys out for international rescue to this disaster here.
either way, we pan in on Thunderbird 5 or whatever, and also we get Monster Vision.
Green was
Yay,
all over
Monster
town.
Vision.
Green is the colour.
It's not easy being green.
It takes you away.
It's certainly not easy for the alien involved in the story, but we meet our TARDIS crew. We have the Fourth Doctor, played by Tom Baker, Sarah Jane Smith, played by, of course, the the wonderful Elizabeth Sladen, and Harry Sullivan, played by Ian Marter, aka the Imbecile.
Clumsy, ham-fisted idiot.
And he certainly
I
plays up to
thought
this.
You guys were joking.
Oh, no.
I thought it was just a fun little meme where he did something wrong once. Holy crap, this guy is a disaster.
Harry Sullivan
How is he a
is
surgeon?
is an idiot. He's a well-meaning idiot, but he's an idiot.
How is he a surgeon? Who put him in charge of people's lives?
I've no idea. Well, Unit, I guess.
Please expand the universe. Give us a story where Harry Sullivan travels with the 12th Doctor. Just what? And I mean, like early 12th Doctor, Series 8 12th Doctor. I just
No
need
nonsense,
this man-
12th Doctor.
Well,
need
it's
this man
thanks to the 12th Doctor we got a
black.
reference to Harry Sullivan in the modern era.
I know the Zygon.
He supposedly developed the gas that would turn the Zygons inside out.
Goody.
Well, it doesn't actually exist, but
Can I also say, there are some shots of him where he looks. Have you guys seen Spaceballs?
yes.
Yes.
Remember that part where the guard comes up and he makes this big speech and he turns the people around. He's like, "You idiots! You've captured their stunt doubles."
Yeah.
That, but Colin Baker. He looks like Colin Baker's stunt double.
I can kind of see it.
Oh God.
Ian Martin's got a kind of face, but I can kind
It's
of
like
see
if
it.
you get rid of the sideburns, he has this Colin Baker-ness to his face. It was a little weird watching him because I kept like seeing him out the corner of my eye when I looked away for something, and
Thinking it was
weird.
Colin Baker. Yeah.
So from moment one of the story, Harry Sullivan did an oopsie because the Doctor was supposed to just take them to the moon and back to prove that the TARDIS can go anywhere in space and time, but Harry fiddled with the controls, and oopsie doopsie, now we're somewhere else.
Yep. A meme for everything.
I mean, okay, but I don't know what that had to do with anything.
it's the SpongeBob fail sound.
I see. Okay.
I got it immediately.
It makes sense if you actually watch the show.
I got you.
I don't watch. I've never really watched SpongeBob. I like the movie. The first movie.
You need to watch SpongeBob. The
Anyway,
first
I'll
couple
trio take a look
seasons before
around.
the movie.
Harry decides to compound his error by hitting another switch, locking Sarah in another room.
Well, yeah. This is something that's going on here. It's wild for part one because I guess from a storytelling perspective, because Sarah has been a companion for a solid year at this point with the third Doctor. So it is, on some level, a bit more interesting for Sarah to get into trouble, and then the Doctor have Harry to explain bullshit to. But also, kind of not good that Sarah bumbles into trouble. But either way, Harry hits a switch. He opens a door or something. Sarah's like, "Oh, Doctor, hey, look at this shit!" And she waltzes in, and then the door shuts behind her. Also, the door is airtight. There's not much air in there. Oh,
and the oxygen isn't working on the spaceship station either. So, oops.
Yep.
and so the Doctor basically says, "Harry, you dolt, what the hell button did you push?" After some fucking around, he finds the button, then opens the door, but by this point, Sarah Jane's passed out. The pair of them go to check on her. Oh, she'll be alright, she'll be fine.
Door
And
closes.
then the door shuts on them, and now all three of them are locked in the no-air room.
Good job, guys.
Yeah.
Great!
Good job.
So, while Harry is slowly suffocating, the Doctor is struggling to turn on the oxygen supply so they don't all die. And we notice that some of the wires have been cut. Not just cut, as we find out later, but bitten.
Nibbled clean through, yeah.
But, well, he manages to patch everything together, get the power back on, get the oxygen back on, so we can breathe now. Good!
Yay!
Great! We also turned on
Fantastic.
the automatic defense system.
Oops.
And they put Sarah on this couch that happens to be lying there.
Yep.
And then, as you say,
And then
the automatic
yeah,
guard turns up.
Yeah.
And the automatic guard is a very, very effective deterrent because it fires 500,000 volts. And it just...
Purely out of organic matter that moves.
It fries poor Harry's shoe. It fries the Doctor's hat.
It's a cricket ball.
Yeah, they're like, what are we going to do? You see that on the wall there? That's the switch to disable it. Harry knows it's the switch to disable it, but he's never been here before. Let's just go with it for the time being.
Because he's a genius.
I guess. But we have a slight problem. We're behind this table, and they actually edge around the room with the table.
Which is smart, but it's very silly looking.
This is a rarity. The Doctor uses the sonic screwdriver to unscrew the table.
Yeah, it's a miracle.
I love it.
Actually using it for its intended purpose for once. I love them like inching around the room and Doctor saying, Harry, if you make one wrong move, we'll be charcoal, so don't do it. And then they get in front of the switch and it's like, I'm going to try something. He throws the scarf up, that gets zapped. There's a big old hole in there. And then they're like, I can't get to the switch. If I had a cricket ball, I'm sure I could hit that. I said, well, this dude just pulled a cricket ball out of nowhere. This was his gimmick. He pulled things out of his pockets from nowhere.
I know. I love it though. It's like his coat is Mary Poppins bag or something.
It kind of is.
Yourself.
Anyway, Harry's like, right, watch this for skill, and he throws it, and that gets zapped and comes down in chunks of leather. Oh right, yeah, of course, that's organic too.
Yeah. So the Doctor's like, Harry, do you like your other shoe? Do you mind missing it? So Harry responds, no, I'm fine with it. And this is where the Doctor lays out his plan. What he's going to do is he's going to have Harry throw the shoe on his mark, and then he's going to get up, flip the switch as fast as he can, and hope that the security device does not have a double barrel on it.
Yeah. And Harry nearly blows the plan by throwing it immediately.
Yeah. But thankfully the plan does work, and they're able to turn it off and get rid of the sentry.
Fortunately, while they were fucking, Sarah, who's been passed out on the couch, teleported away.
Oops.
She just fades out of existence.
And she wakes up in this other chamber, and there's a voice talking to her about cryogenics and relaxing and all this other shit. And then she starts vaping.
Yeah, she does. The voice is like say, you know, like you got to keep still and thank you for your sacrifice and you're going on a journey and things like that. Doesn't make sense yet, but it will later on, I promise.
Yeah. It also doesn't help that Sarah Jane is still pretty oxygen deprived and she's recovering from that.
It's also, I think, the chair is kind of like sedating her as well.
Yeah, she's sort of half laughing as things are happening to her. It's very strange.
No, I think that's only the oxygen deprivation, because every time she sits up, she seems to get lightheaded, and then she lays back down and almost immediately.
It could be that. That would possibly make you laugh at things that weren't particularly funny.
I would say a little of both.
Yeah.
Well,
because humans can only survive for so long when they're oxygen deprived before they become brain dead. So it could be that her brain was deprived of oxygen, not enough to hurt her, but enough to cause her to be like a little hysterical almost.
Quite possibly. Anyway, Harry and the Doctor are delighted to have survived being destroyed by that automatic guard. Hey, Sarah, we survived. Sarah? She's gone.
Shit.
So they go to try and find her.
The Doctor takes the thing apart and he realizes, so, that's a transmat. Oh. Dummy me.
They also find Slimer.
Yeah, we see a wiggly green thing. And, well, Harry sees it and is like, Doctor, I saw a green thing. Oh, Harry, don't be stupid. You didn't see a green thing. Yes, I saw a green thing.
Everyone be prepared. It's a big green mother from outer space.
And then we get a very neat visual that kind of shows us a little bit what's going on here and kind of explains the title of the arc in space. They go into a restricted area and there are these wall-to-wall of pods. for want of a better term.
Well, first they enter this little room that has a door that's labeled animal and botanicals, and
Yeah.
they see like the big chamber that Sarah was in. She's not there anymore, which is a little worrying. So at first I thought she was in another chamber, but this gets explained in a second. And against the other wall is a set of numbered boxes, where each number has a certain amount of boxes to it. The doctor looks inside the door, and he sees that there are actual animals and plants inside. We don't get to see that, but that's what he sees.
There's a funny bit where they're in a restricted area and a voice tells them they're in a restricted area. Because that was necessary.
And then nothing happens, so it's like,
Yeah.
okay, whatever.
That was really necessary, that.
There's another great bit where they're examining the wall, and the doctor's like, "Oh, it's microfilm now. So what do they have a cryogenic repository and a whole bunch of microfilm for?" And Harry says, "Maybe it's some sort of survival getup, like, oh." And the doctor's like, "Oh, you're improving, Harry. Your mind's starting to work. It's all entirely my influence. You can't take it." It's so good.
Have you seen the rest of this story? He's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
Because if Harry was left to think for himself, Harry would be dead in 10 seconds.
Again, how did he become not only a surgeon, but a military surgeon?
A high-ranking military surgeon at that.
A high-ranking military surgeon. Well, you know what? Knowing the kind of people who are high-ranking in the Army in the U.S., that actually makes more sense.
Well, then, like you say, they come to another chamber, and
I can say that because my dad used to work for the Army, and he knows that they were idiots.
Yeah, they come to another chamber.
if there's animals and botanicals and stuff and all this microfilm, what happened to humanity? Oh,
There
here
it
they
is.
are. This leads to an iconic Tom Baker speech, and whenever you get these Doctor Who retrospectives talking about the Fourth Doctor and stuff, they'll always trot out this clip, which, to be fair, is a very well delivered Tom Baker monologue about the indomitable nature of Homo sapiens. I mean, you've probably heard it before. It's real good.
It is real good. It really shows why he likes humans so much. It's just because of their nature.
At
Well,
some
our
point,
nature.
At some point, he refers
I'm totally
to humans
human,
as
I
his favorite.
promise.
At some point, he refers to humans as his favorite species. So that kind of, supports the idea that he really does like Earth and he really does like the human race.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because he saved them countless times up to this point.
And
And
he's going to
countless
be-
more to follow.
Yep.
And he might even be saving them in this very story.
Yes, it's just, unfortunately, Harry thinks they're all dead, so he's wondering why there's just a huge morgue here. And the doctor
And I mean,
has
he's
to
even
spend
trying
time.
to check him. It's like, oh, doctor, there's no pulse. There's nothing going on.
And the doctor's like, you blithering idiot, they're in
You
cryogenic
goddamn
sleep."
idiot. This is highly advanced cryogenics. You can't diagnose these fuckers as dead.
You
with your
blithering
20th
idiot, I
century
love that.
medicine.
That's like a perfect summation of Harry's character. A blithering idiot.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
I like him. He's played well by Ian Martin, but my god, this man is stupid.
Yeah. There's bumbling idiot, and then there's Harry Sullivan.
If he were hotter, he'd be a himbo.
Bitch!
Well, I'm sure there's someone who's attracted to him, so probably.
Sure.
It's not me. But,
If he were hotter, he'd be a himbo. Oh my god, of all the sense I didn't expect to hear today.
Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me
You're
I'm
not,
wrong.
and that's the worst part
You're
about
not.
it. Anyway, our
either way.
cliffhanger is not much of a cliffhanger. Our cliffhanger is where's Sarah Jane? Opens up one of the pods. Oh, there she is.
Actually, that's not the cliffhanger. But before
Yeah, that's
that,
not the
I
cliffhanger.
want to mention something real quick. That the doctor says as he's
Yes.
looking around at all these bodies. He says that there's all colors and all creeds amongst,
Yeah.
which will come up in the moment in part 2.
Yes, it will.
Yeah.
There's a backstage
All
bit.
colors and all creeds. Funny how there's no people of color. that
Yeah,
are the
you know the bit I'm about to
story.
talk about, but
Yeah, well, I know what you're going to talk about, but I don't know if you know what I'm going to talk about. But our cliffhanger, it's not what happens next. Harry is looking around. He opens a pod and is like, "Oh shit, Sarah's in here. she's in deep cryogenic sleep. Oh shit!
And she's in this white outfit that they've never seen before.
And they're basically like, well, look around for a revival unit or something. And then our cliffhanger comes. Harry opens a cupboard, and a giant fucking bug falls on him.
Yeah, that's the cliffhanger.
Dun,
Sorry.
dun, dun.
Oh well. He dies, he lived, being incredibly stupid.
So, part 2 kicks up.
And Harry's not
And
dead.
He's not dead because, well, I mean, he's not going to die by having a bug fall on him.
A dead
Literally
bug.
too stupid to die.
Yeah, he is.
Jesus.
But the insect is dead.
Yes.
And very large.
Yes.
And, hey, some of these people are starting to wake up.
Hey! We get introduced to Vera, the first med tech, who's like, who the hell are you guys?
Yeah, one of the pallets or the pods opens up, and the person inside starts to sort of come to very, very slowly. She's reaching out for something that she can't quite grab, so Harry just gives her something from the medical kit that he found.
A medical kit.
Yeah.
Harry doesn't know what the fuck it is.
And she
because
sort
it's
of holds it
Yeah.
to herself, and then has this painful-looking contortion and spasm, and then she wakes up.
It's almost like an adrenaline shot. At least that's what I compared it to. Because
That's not
you're
a bad
supposed
comparison.
To get it, you're supposed to get it right there in the same
right
area.
over your heart, yeah.
And we'll just get to it right now. This character was originally written to be black.
Yep.
Haitian, to
I
be
believe-
precise.
And I believe the director was casting and cast a white lady.
Yeah.
Which, a bit of a sad miss, but also has some, well, unfortunate implications as we get on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of implies that every single one of these survivors was white.
Yeah, which, when we get to some of the dialogue here in part 2, I mean, I'm glad we're not doing the other arc, but that doesn't mean I didn't raise an eyebrow here.
So at the beginning, I said I enjoyed this. That enjoyment is starting to go downhill a little bit.
Yeah, this bit's a bit of an oof moment.
Especially considering that later on, the Doctor himself uses the G word. So.
Oh, well, we got to get to that, but
He
yeah,
does use that word, but he's... Oh, well, who am I kidding? He's not using it innocently at all, but yeah.
I mean, he's specifically talking about the people, and it's you can't do that.
Yeah,
You
but
can't.
back in the 70s, that word was accepted.
Yeah, but that doesn't make it right now.
I'm not saying it
It
makes it
doesn't.
right now. I'm saying that back when
we're
this
not
was
saying it at
made,
all.
when this was made, that would not have caused any kind
Don't
of
make
offense.
me go on another rant about how just because stuff was okay back then doesn't mean that we.
I'm not saying
have
it's
to
okay
accept it
now, Kat. If you listen to me, I'm saying that
I know, but you're getting real close to me going on another rant.
at the time it was filmed, they would have thought nothing of saying that word. Had they filmed it
Yes.
today, they would have.
Yes.
Not excusing it, explaining it.
it sucks.
It sucks.
Yes, but I've been saying this for a while now, that just because something happened in the past doesn't mean that we can just excuse it now. However,
That's
we
why
have
I'm
to-
criticizing it.
However, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is you're starting to get me on a rant when I'm agreeing with you.
I see. Right. Well,
Right.
well, let's move away from the rant when you're agreeing with me. Wait, what? No. Yeah. Let's move away from the
So-
rant. And
Once Vera is up and wondering who the hell these people are, Vera gets shown Sarah. They're like, hey, our friend got cryogenically frozen. Can you wake her up, please? And this is the first red flag, just slightly waving, as Vera asks, is she of value? And you're like, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yay,
Well, we'll get into
eugenics?
more of that, but either way, she works on
Well.
trying to revive Sarah, and gives her the shot. And she's like, "Well, it hasn't been long, so I'm gonna give her a shot of this stuff, and she'll either come out of it or she'll die." So we'll
Great.
gotta
Just what you
wait.
want to hear when you've got a friend who's comatose.
Well, what else are
While
they
we're
going to be
wait-
able to do?
Yeah. And while we're waiting on that, she goes to wake up the leader of this arc.
Oh, this guy.
This guy. So he has a name, Lazar, but they decided to be cute and give him a nickname, Noah.
Yeah, they said they called him it as a joke because apparently humour is dead in the 30th century, or whatever this is.
They didn't even call it a joke, they called it an amusement.
Oh, that's right, because when Harry calls it a joke, Vera's like, what's a joke?
Yeah, because they're so far in the future. She's got some weird idea. She doesn't even understand like half of what they're saying. It's just like, you talk weird.
Essentially, they speak very prim and proper, using like quote-unquote proper words like amusement, whereas Harry has a more authentic way of speaking.
They have elegant elocution, as it were.
Yes.
Oh, very nice.
And Vera even says something about how he talks like the lower colonies or something like that.
Yeah, here we go again.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not
Again,
raising it yet because I'm waiting for Noah to wake up.
Can literally envisage Frezno tugging at his collar as he speaks.
Yeah, this is kind of the same case as because while you can enjoy the story, there are all these little sticking points that are just like, yeah.
I don't think it's to the level of because I think we can talk about this again without being ashamed.
It doesn't get to the level of that because you don't have an entire online brigade who's going to harass the shit out of you for saying, hey, maybe this isn't perfect.
You also don't have an actor in Yellowface.
Same idea.
You also don't have that. But we also get the factoid that, and we've kind of done it again, hey, solar flares destroyed all life on Earth, which is why these people are in suspended animation.
Yes,
if
but
only they had some random trees to protect them.
Oh my god.
Could they have possibly done?
However, while there's solar flares,
I will never forget.
I was talking about Mysterious Planet. But, yeah, if you want to make a reference to that, you can.
I was going to refer to the Claws of Axos, where the solar flares were not actually real. And now I've said the word solar flare out loud, I can think woo, I'm the sun!
Oh, God.
The Earth gets destroyed by the solar flares a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah.
He chopped them so hard that it's exploded.
In fact, we could technically argue that the sun is just a big old nuclear reaction. And what was it that destroyed the Earth in Orphan 55?
Yeah, that too.
You bringing up all the episodes you hate. It's my job.
I'm not reaching for the Quacksire button just yet, but... solar flare, so basically, the sun put the Earth in a figure four deadlock so hard it exploded.
Boom. Well, it didn't explode, it just set the entire world on fire and destroyed any living creature that was still on it.
I'm just imagining a Photoshop of Ric Flair, like, made out of the sun.
It
probably exists. Give me 5 seconds.
Who wants to ride on Space Mountain, baby? Woo!
Who wants to talk about bubble wrap worms?
Oh, God. So, do you know how I said this story was done on the cheap?
Okay. Oh, I'm going to have worse. Yeah, so anything to do with the monsters of the story is blatantly just spray-painted green bubble wrap.
Not even spray painted. I think it's just green bubble wrap. You can get green bubble wrap.
I haven't seen this much bubble wrap since fucking Kerblam!
Bringing up all the episodes we hate.
Yeah, there you go. Now I got one in.
Woo!
But, yeah, so the wiggly worm does a sabotage. And now...
The wiggly worm does a sabotage?
That's quite a sentence there.
It's even kind of shaped like the Among Us people.
Now I'm just thinking of that one meme video where this guy is saying, "Stop posting about Among Us! My friends on TikTok keep sending me these memes. I go to the server, there's nothing but Among Us memes. I look at the trash can and I'm like, haha, it's a bit sussy. I look at my dick and it looks like the astronaut's helmet. I'm like, penis! More like Pete sus!
Wiggly worm was ejected. One imposter remains.
The worst part is that we're doing all this after Among Us has already quote-unquote died as a popular thing.
It hasn't.
Really? It has.
It kind of has.
Oh, come on. These are the people that claim that Fall Guys is a dead game.
Yeah, pretty much if you go on there and try to play the game, there's a lot of people doing weird role plays in the actual things.
Yeah.
And they will eject you if you, from the, room if you're not there to do it with them.
I see. So random online play is dead, but you can still get people together.
Yeah, you can still get people together, it's just that they're doing weird stuff.
Right, so the game is not dead. It's just on life support.
Well, it is pretty dead.
By weird, do we mean just, like, in character? Or, like...
Weird.
You know?
I say so. I was in electrical at the time.
No, I mean weird.
I do believe that Yellow is the imposter.
Pinky?
Yes.
Yeah, the game's dead.
I was trying to avoid saying it, but yeah.
Wow, Rainiac, way to kink shame.
I mean, have you seen the internet?
Yes. Yes,
But there's
have.
there's also the fact that kids play this game and it's like don't.
I'm not being
do that.
entirely serious. I'm not really king shaming, but still.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna use Among Us as an outlet for your fantasies, please do it with consenting adults.
Also, please actually make the rooms private and don't like kick people out as soon as they enter trying to play the game. And also maybe do this on something where it's not a temporary room and you don't have to worry about, playing the game in order to stop it from closing.
There are better outlets for this medium, I will admit.
Mm-hmm.
But if
go
you're
on
going
Discord.
to do it responsibly.
Go on Discord.
Get a
go
bunch
on
of friends
Omegle,
together,
go
get on
something
Discord,
else.
and just enjoy it, because it's a good game.
Go on your private Twitter DMs.
Please don't ruin the game of the year. I know it's not really the game of the year, but still.
You do you, y'all. You do you.
We should play it again sometime.
We definitely should, especially if they're going to soon nuke it.
I'd sure love to talk more about Among Us instead of the problematic bullshit Noah's about to spew out of his fucking mouth.
Yeah, so the Doctor has gone off to try and see if he can find out what's going wrong with the Ark, because something's not right here. Vira just kind of left him. She's reviving Noah. Harry is standing by in case Sarah comes to. And as she comes to, so does Noah. And I kind of wish he hadn't.
Oh, we should probably also mention that while, before she started trying to wake up Noah, she was informed by the doctor that it turns out that when the thing bit through the wires, it bit through a whole bunch of other ones, including their quote-unquote alarm clock, meaning that they have overslept by several thousand years, so it's now been like 10,000 years, I believe, since the Earth was destroyed.
Yeah.
Or burned, I guess.
So this is like the reverse of the film Passengers. By the way, don't watch the film Passengers.
Why? Is it bad? Or is it just...
It's a bit problematic.
Yeah, it's a bit problematic.
Speaking of problematic...
Yeah.
I mean, if you're into films where somebody literally condemns somebody to death because they're lonely, watch Passengers.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I'll explain later, but
Yeah, we'll explain to you later.
So who wants to say it? Who wants?
Oh, go on then. So Noah comes to, and I admit wish he hadn't, because his first act is like he sees Harry, he's like, "Who the hell is this?"
Which not quite in the same way that Vera said it. It's just like, who are you guys? What? You're not.
This is more like, who are you guys? How dare you be on board my space station? I'm going to have you flamethrowered immediately.
Get off of
why
here
is
before
he going
you...
to do that, Rainiac?
Because it could contaminate the gene pool. Oh, Jesus.
He calls them regressive.
Yay,
Was this
No.
was this an Aryan master race type of thing?
Hey, this entire arc is full of white people.
I mean, if it wasn't full of white people, it wouldn't be, but it is.
Well, there are only like 5 or 6 people that are
no.
revived, but they all happen to be white.
It's like, at the very least, if Vera was, played by a black actress, it wouldn't be so bad, but the fact is there's no people of color in this entire crew.
No.
That's, well, the ones that are revived, at least. But even then, these are like the most important people on the arc. They're the ones who are supposed to get everything up and running so that they can head back down to Earth.
And their nationalities are never disclosed.
Yeah.
These are the last survivors of the human race, and the implication here is that they only selected based on fucking eugenics.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and even worse, this is later on, I think in part 3, but Vera even mentions that Noah was picked for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As in to continue on the human species.
Yeah.
So that's also really gross.
I mean, look, I'm gonna say, Kat, this is less bullshit than the other arc. Like,
I am now terrified of that one.
Well, just don't pick it, and you don't have to be terrified ever again.
Like, the arc in space is a better story, and its implications are way worse and way more racist. But this is still, this is like very eyebrow raising. Put it bluntly.
Yeah, it's. Again, if they were more people of color, or just people of other nationalities at the very least, then maybe this wouldn't be so bad. But the fact that it's all white people,
tried, and
it's like he tried. I'm not blaming him. I'm blaming the director.
Thanks.
Who was the director for this?
I have no idea.
Rodney Bennett.
Rodney Bennett. Thanks.
Thanks. What else has Rodney Bennett done? Oh, literally, it's this, the Centauran Experiment, which is the next one, and then the Mask of Mandragora.
That explains a lot.
The Mask of Mandragora.
That explains a lot. Anyway, let's move on a bit here. So
the Doctor is down investigating the solar stack. It's just like, it's the power room of the Ark. And there's a green monster inside. So that's fun.
Yay.
We've also got a missing person.
Dune.
Yeah. Dune. One of the technicians.
He ran off to look for the spice.
Pallet. Oh my god. Pallet 3 is empty. And that was Dune's pallet.
And also, there's a very conspicuous fucking green slime trail leading from the pod.
Which nobody notices until later.
Vent.
Harry notices it.
But nobody of importance notices it until later.
So the Doctor, realizing there's a goddamn green monster in the solar stack, immediately runs up to the control room to shut shit down, and is accosted by Noah.
Who shoots him.
He's like, I've got to shut down the solar stack. There's a monster there. You're trying to sabotage our arc, you bastard. And Noah shoots him. Yes, it's a stun gun, but...
It is a stun gun. If he moves away from the switch, doesn't move away from the switch, he'll atomize him. Maybe that's just an empty threat, because he just stuns him. He stuns him in mid-sentence, which is quite funny.
Yeah.
The Doctor is trying to explain, look, if you come down with me, I'll show you exactly the problem, and we can work together to sort it out. He doesn't get his sentence out because he gets shot and falls over.
Then Noah goes down to check. Unfortunately, by this point, the green monster has busted out of the solar stack. And Noah is down there investigating, and the thing goes after him, and his left hand gets slimed.
And then he falls unconscious.
And he passes out.
And when he wakes up, his left hand is encased in green bubble wrap.
Well, we're gonna get to that. We can't just gloss over that with a sentence. We gotta get to that, really.
No. I'm preparing everyone for later.
Oh, good. Just get a strong drink. You're gonna need it for this.
Well, I mean, you kind of just ruined the cliffhanger, so.
It's a 40-year-old Doctor Who. It's a 45-year-old Doctor Who story.
So
hey, I'm American. I'm born and bred on suing people.
Yeah.
So Vera is reviving other people. Sarah's up at this point. She's fine. But Noah comes back after having been passed out. He's got his left hand in his pocket now. And one of the guys who's fresh out of waking up is immediately scared shitless of Noah.
This is Libri.
He's like, oh fuck, get back. oh, I'm sorry. No, I was just like, I don't know, space sickness,
I
early
think
morning
Vira
hallucination.
puts it down to like neurological aberration or something.
Mm.
He
Temporary.
hallucinated is basically what she
Yeah,
says.
yeah, basically. But she doesn't say it in those words because that's not how these people operate.
Yeah.
Anyway, at this point, Harry and Sarah have gone to find the doctor, and they find him, and he's knocked out.
Well,
Yeah.
they find him and they help him get back up because he's fine, and then Noah comes and escorts them to the cryogenic section again.
They
And
go
then that's when
to
they
look
do
in
the
the
Libra thing.
in the inner workings of the ship, and that's where Noah finds them and escorts them, and that's where Libri
We're
is woken up.
glossing over a funny bit, which is as soon as Tom Baker comes to, he finishes the sentence.
Yes, I said he got stunned in his sentence.
And also, Noah is acting very strangely. He wants to stop the revival of all the people of the Ark. And when Vera mentions about the Dune being missing, he just offhandedly mentions, "I am Dune. I'm right here."
Yeah.
Wait, what? No, what? Are you okay?
Anyway,
No.
he gets Libri to hold the three interlopers at gunpoint. And it doesn't take long for the doctor to reason with Libri, like, obviously something's going wrong with your commander. You need to get after him and try and stop him. So to his credit, Libri does. He takes the gun, he runs after Noah.
Yeah.
While they're doing that, he's doing that. The Doctor and Co. Investigate and talk about the dead bug, which turns out was a queen bug.
Yeah.
And he mentions a species of a wasp, I believe. I'm not sure on the exact, actual real life species of wasps this is, but it's the one that hatches its eggs in other creatures.
I mean, it's
and
certainly
they
not
hatch
something
inside.
I'm gonna be researching, given my phobia of the damn things.
Yeah, and well, apparently the larvae of these alien bugs hatch inside people. Isn't that fucked up? It sure
And
would
now
be
you begin
fucked
to
up
see
if
what's
it was.
going on with that slime trail leading straight from pallet 3.
Yeah, and also what's fucked up is that this also absorbs the memories of whoever the fuck they take over. So this
Yay!
bug has absorbed Dune's knowledge of the Ark and its power systems, which is how the bug is able to hack the shit so thoroughly and get into the solar
So
tracks and all this
it
other
is
shit.
quite literally Dune.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it infected Noah, and now it's slowly becoming Noah.
And here is our
And
actual cliffhanger then.
so Libri has Noah at gunpoint. And it's like, you're clearly acting sus. Give me the gun, Libri. Give me the gun. Give it here. Give it here. Give it. You idiot!
Bang.
Yeah. He shoots Libri dead.
And our cliffhanger is, it should be fucking stupid, but the way it plays out is completely straight and it actually kind of works.
Yeah.
Noah takes his left hand out of his pocket, and it is just a blob of green bubble wrap.
And you can see his hand underneath it, which makes the effect even stupider.
But the way he just looks at his hand in abject, absolute horror.
Plus the shaking really helps.
It's good acting, actually.
Yeah.
He's a fantastic actor.
It is good acting.
And we continue that acting in the opening of part 3, where we've got him there looking at his hand, and he's actually trying to do the whole, which makes me think of that old horror movie from about 25 years ago called Idle Hands. Or maybe Evil Dead 2, I'm not, no, whatever you want to do. He's wrestling with his own arm,
Did you seriously just reference Idle Hands?
I haven't even seen that movie, I just remember it being advertised.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
Is this
Don't
something
reference
I need to...
Idle Hands.
Oh, has it aged poorly?
No. Yes. It's hard to explain. A kid's hand gets possessed by the devil. He cuts it off, and then it starts doing weird stuff around town. Seth Green is also in it. He and a friend die and are brought back as zombies by the devil.
Oh, so it's an origin story for the
Okay.
Adams family then.
It's a horror comedy.
I mean, this sounds like something that's worth my time if it's not too.
That's how the thing came to be. It's the
48.
hand.
I mean, I'm going to give you a picture of what Seth Green looks like in the movie.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
I might have to watch this now.
I think I need to see this for Halloween.
I might need to watch this now. This looks kind of good.
It's like it's really not that good, but it's like there is some sexual stuff that happens in it that's pretty ill. Like the devil hand gropes a girl.
Never mind, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
Actually, it gropes Jessica Alba because she's in this.
I'm good.
Yeah. We're the ship is sailing. The ship is sailing.
A bit like this arc. So we hear this voice, this pre-recorded voice from the Earth High Minister, I think that they're calling themselves.
Yeah.
And it's like a congratulatory message, like, you know, if you're hearing this, you've woken up, and Earth is long gone, but you're embarking on the first stage of an epic journey to bring humanity back from the brink, and we thank you for your service and sacrifice. And Harry.
Oh wait!
And
Before we get to that, can we talk about Noah's reaction and some other stuff? Because one problematic thing at the time. Sorry, but the Earth High Minister who's speaking on this recording, she mentions that the Ark people are the proud standard bearers of the human race. So that's adding to the whole element
that's
of the
just
thing. And we also have
good.
Noah in despair bashing his bubble wrap monster hand against the console in futility. It's like, God damn it, what's happened to me?
Yeah.
And yeah, Brainiac, proceed.
Okay, so up to now, Harry has just been a bit of an idiot. Well-meaning, but a bit of an idiot. Here he graduates to sexist because he is amazed that the Earth High Minister is a woman. When was this made?
A member of the fairer species.
When was this made? 1976?
75.
We're 4 years away from Margaret Thatcher.
Yeah.
What the fuck, Harry?
Well, he is an idiot.
By this point, she's probably like a well-known, but yeah.
Yeah, she was a well-known politician.
Yeah.
She wasn't the leader yet, but she was a well-known politician.
It's like, I don't know if this was the writer's
She was getting there.
What,
unfortunately.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, don't ever do that again.
Sorry.
That creeped the hell out of me.
That was rather creepy.
I thought I thought I was too loud.
No, it was like right in my ears and it scared me. It was like ASMR and I hated it. I hate ASMR.
Anyway, Noah is not fighting a winning battle with this parasite, so he contacts Vyra via some sort of radio. And he transfers command to her. The intercom, yeah. He transfers command to her.
He's also trying to say, Vera, revive everybody right now. Hurry. Fuck's sakes.
Yeah, get down to Earth as soon as possible. And
GTFO.
He's about to lose control, but before he does, he says that the aliens are called the Wirren. And then he very seriously says, we shall absorb the humans.
Dun, dun,
So he really is not doing very well fighting this infection or whatever it is.
Yeah.
This alien parasite.
So Vera takes command.
They've finally got away from Noah. The Doctor's great plan is, let's go and find Noah.
And we have Vera teaching Harry how to revive people, so to get the whole thing on the go. And it's kind of fun. She says some sci-fi bullshit about the drugs. And he's like, I don't know what this is. And then she mentions where to put it, like anatomy, and then it's like, oh, that I understand.
Yeah. Well, that's an understandable reaction. What's not is him calling Sarah Jane Nurse Smith.
I will say, I am still amazed at the fact he actually managed to revive 2 people without messing it up.
Yeah, well...
That is kind of amazing.
That's something we'll get, but... Well, how's Noah doing?
Badly.
Oh! He really can't stop popping that bubble wrap, huh?
No. So it's now taking over
No.
half his body. Pretty
So
much.
this is an interesting thing we have to talk about. You probably have seen this little tidbit on TARDIS Wiki, or have you?
I have not, but please go ahead.
So
Please
there's
go on.
actually a scene cut from. There's actually a bit cut from this scene.
Never mind, I have seen it, yes.
Yeah.
I haven't yet, so go on.
Noah basically tells them that they don't have much time. You know, they got to get out of here. But there's a little bit cut where Noah basically asks Vera, "Kill me," and they cut it because they thought it was too scary. You know, too fucked up. Like, "Kill me, Vera! Oh God! Don't let me
Yes,
turn into a
because
bubble
a
wrap
man
monster."
slowly being taken over and turned into an alien is in absolutely no way freaky and scary. And there's absolutely no way that this will be later turned into several horror movies.
Oh.
Just saying.
And actually, on the TARDIS Wiki, it says the actor playing Noah was actually a little offended that part of the scene got cut.
I can understand it, because he's a good actor, and
Yeah.
he was
He
putting his
probably
heart and soul into it. It's like, oh yeah, that scene you poured your heart into. We're not using it, sorry.
Oh, you can put me in wrestling with a green bubble wrap hand, but any more.
It doesn't exist, by the way, this scene. It's not in the deleted scenes.
There are no deleted scenes. I checked the Blu-ray. I wanted
It
to
has
see
been lost to time.
Darn.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Why don't you
BBC.
Why don't you dig that up instead of the Celestial Toymaker Part 3?
Yeah. Anyway, Vira is very upset about this whole thing, because as you said earlier, she and Commander Noah were pair bonded.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's not great. So how are we going to get away from this whole horrible scene of Noah slowly being overtaken by a parasite? I know. How about an alien bug autopsy? That's perfectly
yeah.
right.
Fun.
That's perfectly appropriate, right?
It's dead
Yeah.
anyways.
And Harry, again, actually proves to be rather competent here. With a bit of help from the doctor, he performs a half-decent autopsy.
He's not an entomologist, but I mean, he knows enough about anatomy to say, "Oh, hey, look at that. These lungs are real interesting."
He basically cuts open, is it like a laser scalpel thing? He cuts open the Queen on the doctor's instructions.
They're looking for weaknesses in the Wirren.
Yeah. Meanwhile, 2 more people have been revived. Rogan and Lyset. Now, Lyset doesn't do a whole lot.
No.
Rogan's interesting.
Yes. He's a
And
complainer.
they have this sort of exchange where they're complaining about, oh, I never wanted to leave Earth anyway. But it's going to be destroying the fireball, so when he comes to the shelters, we'd be dead. We'd be happily dead.
Christ's sakes.
He's the classic sort of 70s Doctor Who, not misanthrope,
Cynicist?
yeah, pessimist.
Pessimist. Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
But he's an interesting character. I quite like him. Lyset is less interesting because Lyset's not really in this for very long.
He's dead in about 5 minutes, so. But before that, the doctor cuts part of the Wirren eyeball off and has an idea to get the last recorded image from the Wirren's brain or eye or whatever and beam it
Neural
on.
cortex.
And Harry goes,
And
Doctor, that's a
this
bug's
is where
head.
And this is where he mentions that this is parallel to a Romani tradition, except he doesn't say Romani,
No,
does he?
he uses the
uses
the name of the
another
musical,
word
and we'll go at
we're
that.
not going to repeat on the show.
No, he
And
uses the name of a
that's
5-letter musical beginning with G.
I was going to joke Grease, but then I was like, that's 6 letters.
Damn, I was too specific. Sorry.
He says the name of a Fleetwood Mac song.
That'll do. Yeah, that'll do.
And as we
He
said,
says part of the name of a Pacific Rim mech.
And Harry, oh yeah, that's a cut.
Pacific Rim has that
Yeah.
word? Ugh.
And Harry says to the doctor, "Doctor, that's a bug's head." He doesn't actually say that's a reference to Wild Wild West, but this is very similar to Wild Wild West.
Do that in the movie, don't they?
Yeah, they do. They take a man's head and they give his final sight.
That is a man's head.
Honestly, that whole entire movie was wild. It's like,
Wild
I've
West.
never seen the original series, but holy cow, if it was anything like that, it'd be a good time.
That movie is one of my absolute favorite guilty pleasure movies.
Same.
It's bad, but it's funny.
Fucking stupid, but I love it.
There's a giant spider, and it's fantastic, and I don't even like spiders.
Kat, please tell me that you've heard the Kevin Smith Superman story.
No.
Oh my god, you're in for a treat.
I have something to link you when we're done the show.
Okay.
I know the Kevin Smith Superman story, and I'm smiling just thinking about it. But
Okay, it has perhaps the greatest punchline ever. But back to Doctor Who. The Doctor tries to hook this bug brain to the circuits of some computer on the Ark, but it's not strong enough to get a signal. So, well, I guess I just have to hook it to my own brain instead.
yep, he does this.
His brain and the actual circuitry as well, so then he can essentially jumpstart it to make it want to present the information that he needs.
He has Lysit hook him into the machine, and then Lysit very conveniently goes into the next room and dies.
We'll get into that. Yeah, so, he says, now don't disturb me while we're doing this, because if you unplug me halfway through, I'll probably die.
Yeah, the shock will kill me.
And he does the thing. And we start
he also gives the gun to Vera, and is like, just in case I get taken over, shoot me.
Yeah.
So he does the thing. He's hooked into the Matrix or whatever. And Lysa is just hanging out in the Ark room. And oh shit! A bubble wrap worm!
I'm sorry, as soon as you said he was jacked into the Matrix, I mean, I thought, oh, here's Morpheus, but he has the head of a bug.
So Lysa
the prophecy is true.
Lysa gets bubble wrapped to death.
Yeah, this grub breaks through the vent, or it has broken through the vent, because they say that was like really strong metal. It's ripped it apart like tissue paper.
Yep.
And then, unfortunately for Lysa, he gets consumed by the grub.
It's in the vents. Kat, hit the button.
We're getting far too much mileage out of that, aren't we? But
we are. It's literally a lot like Among Us too, because that's literally what it is. We have imposters in the form of Noah, who can go around and kill people. Yeah. But he's really bad at his job because he keeps closing the doors on himself.
So Harry and Rogan get sent to go to the armory to get more laser guns, and as they come back from that, oh shit! It's Noah now with 25% more bubble wrap.
I feel sorry for this actor. This must have sucked.
Order now. We'll be able to double your order for free.
This costume and having to continuously add more alien bits to it must have sucked.
Well, yeah, but they have a little laser battle with them, and they get away. And then the bubble wrap is coming from inside the Ark. It's trying to get in. So it's just. And it's like it's a worm sort of thing that just shuffles along the ground, but now it's standing upright, and it's like a tentacle, like it's got little
suckers.
And the Doctor comes to just in time, and Vira's about to shoot him because she's not sure he's been taken over because he keeps going, "We're in it." Oh no, has he been taken over? Sarah Jane stops her from shooting him. Turns out to be the right move because he hasn't been taken over because he has a big smile on his face.
And we glossed over it, but what we saw on the display while he was hooked in was the Wirren Queen in the room with the automatic guard getting electrocuted to shit, and that really hurting it. That paired with the whole laser guns that are getting shooting at the worm thing, electricity is the Wirren's weakness.
But the Queen was resilient. She lived long enough to cut through the wires, or bite through the wires,
to disable.
And then find the nearest pallet and eat poor Dune.
Either way...
Well, not eat. She sort of laid the egg on him.
Yeah. Either way, now we know that the Wirren are water flying type, and we can plan accordingly.
It's super effective.
Go, Pikachu!
So Rogan comes up with a plan. They say, "Have you got any electricity?" Well, we've got some cables. We could lay them into the room and electrify the floor, but we can't get into the door because Noah's there and he'll kill us. And the doctor says, "Well, you see that transmat? It's reversible, isn't it?" So that's a really clever idea. Well, I'm glad you like it because you're going first.
Like that line.
That is pretty good. And the way he smiled his face instantly.
Because I don't think you mentioned this, but part of the problem is that the worms decide, or larvae, or whatever you want to call them, decide to turn off the power.
That's after two people have been transported, however.
Rogan and Sarah?
Harry.
Over? Harry? Okay, Rogan and... Yeah. And they're about to beam Sarah. And then the power gets cut.
Yeah.
And the oxygen gets cut.
There's a cute bit where Sarah's like, "I guess I'm not going anywhere, am I? Will you help me down, please, Doctor?" And he gently lifts her out.
So the doctor decides...
He does not gently lift her out. He basically throws her over his shoulder and chucks her down.
So
I would say that's not... He doesn't chuck her down. She doesn't bounce.
It's still pretty damn, dude.
But he's trying to help her.
We get to our part 3 cliffhanger now, where the doctor decides to go down into the power area to see if he can do anything. And well, first of all, he finds a whole shitload of Wirren cocoons. And then there's a full-size, identical costume to the dead bug we've found. A full-size Wirren, and the cliffhanger shot is that with Noah now 90% bubble wrap superimposed over it. So that's Noah. He's gone full bug. Dun dun dun.
The only thing that remains of him is his face, and even that fades out into a bug's visage. Yeah. You missed something important, though. The doctor says that, well, I better go and but no, we'll kill you. I don't think so, because all these Wirren, they're pupating now, and surely he's a Wirren. He'll be doing the same thing. He isn't, but that's the idea.
Yeah. Anyway, so.
And that brings us to part 4, which is wild.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So
just a bit.
So it's Sarah and I think it's Sarah and Vera.
It's Vera that saves the day. Yeah.
They shoot at the thing, and the Wirren starts talking in Noah's voice, and mentions that humanity fucked up all the Wirren's breeding colonies 1,000 years ago when they went off to colonize other planets and stuff.
Specifically Andromeda, the Andromeda galaxy.
There's another mention of Andromeda.
They're just like, well, fine, you fuck with us, we're gonna fuck with you.
We've done it again because the Andromeda galaxy is mentioned.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, like I said, Mysterious Planet was Robert Holmes' greatest hits, so yeah.
We've still done it again.
Yep.
So Wirren Noah has a proposal for Vira.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And we'll spare you.
If you leave the Ark, if you take the shuttle with any crew members that are already awakened, I will let the swarm let you go. In return, we'll absorb all the other sleepers, and we'll become technologically advanced.
And then we'll take over the galaxy. Raw.
And Vira's actually quite noble here. She could save herself. She could save the basically Rogan at this point. He's the only other survivor. But she says, no, I'm not going to abandon the Ark. I'm not going to abandon humanity. We need to find another way.
Yes.
The next scene, Harry suggests, why don't we just get the fuck out of here in the TARDIS?
Yeah. He's not quite up to speed yet with the whole heroic element of being a Doctor Who companion, is he?
Some doctor.
I mean, he took the Hippocratic Oath.
And so this is where Sarah is like, hey, so we're out of power, right? But what about that transport ship you mentioned? And everyone's like, oh, shit, that's actually a good idea. It's got its own separate power supply. We could run the power from there to here in the Ark, but
Frez, there's a problem. If they run the cable just through the Ark itself, then won't the Wirren just come over and clip it?
Unless we run it through the vents.
Aha.
Yeah. Now
unfortunately, the vent is small.
But Sarah's also got a petite frame. She could probably do it.
Remember what I said about Harry not getting the whole heroic aspect of being a companion yet?
Sarah
got
gets
it.
it.
Yeah, Sarah's got it down to a fine art.
Oh yeah.
She doesn't just.
She's
They
the
don't
best.
just say, "Oh, maybe you should do it." She volunteers.
She volunteers.
She
Yeah.
willingly volunteers to do this dangerous task so they can all escape. So she grabs the cable and she crawls through the ventilation shaft.
So, and this is a real long scene here. So we've got Rogan and Vera and Harry are up in the transport ship monitoring, and the doctor is back in the arc chamber, waiting for Sarah to get there so they can plug in the cable and they can electrify the area around the arc so the Weirin can't get in. And so Sarah has an extended scene of crawling through this vent, just very Die Hard / aliens / whatever the hell else you want to mention.
Sarah, what are
She
you
gets
doing,
stuck a lot.
Sarah?
And there's a real tense bit where she passes by the solar stack area, and like a Weirin is banging against the vent trying to get in. She's like, "Oh shit!" But she manages to make it all the way, so she's just a few feet away from the arc chamber. But then she gets stuck. And she's like, "Oh shit! I can't move forward or back. Oh no,
Well,
I'm stuck.
that's
Doctor, I
okay
can't
because the doctor's right there, and he, of course, decides to immediately stop believing in her and tell her that she's worthless.
It's reverse psychology,
What?
but it's still a bit uncomfortable to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can tell he doesn't
It's like
mean
I
it.
got what he was doing as soon as he started talking, but it was still like, maybe don't make her feel like shit.
You can tell he doesn't mean it, and he is just trying to help her survive. But it
Well,
still comes across as rather nasty.
It does work. She comes out of that thing. She's like, "Oh, you fucker! I'm gonna fucking kill you."
Yeah.
If this was Clara, this guy would have a bloody fucking nose.
Yeah.
And a black eye.
Yes. But instead, she just sort of like complains. She's like, "Oh, you," and the doctor's like, "Oh, I believed you. I never doubted you for a moment."
And then we have a standoff. Because the Weirin can't get through because of the electricity.
Yeah.
And no one's like, well, if that's okay, because you need the oxygen, we'll just turn that off. We don't need it, we're bugs.
There's also a fun bit where after they get the power back on, a bug tries to get Sarah through the vent, and then they have to shock it. So it's just like, ah.
Also, two of them get roasted by the shuttle's engines.
Yeah, wild. So then the power comes back on, and they're like, wait, what the fuck? Why'd they turn on the power? So Noah could talk to them, and he lays out his terms. They're pretty much the same as before. Listen, guys,
Leave and you'll
I'm
be fine.
willing to let you all go in the transport ship, and you can go free. We won't hurt you, but you leave all those sleepy people for the Weirin.
And just to make your mind up, I'm turning off the oxygen.
And the doctor tries to appeal to whatever the fuck is left of Noah in that Weirin brain. It's like, remember Earth, Noah. Remember your humanity. Don't do this.
What's the line? I have no memory of the Earth.
Yeah.
That's
Meanwhile,
kind of
on the
chilly.
transport ship, there's a gremlin on the wing of the plane. There's actually a shitload of gremlins on the wing of the plane as the Weirin are spacewalking because they can survive in deep space, which is a plot point that has been mentioned earlier. So, but they spacewalked outside the arc and are crawling to the transport ship from outside. But the doctor has a plan with the transport ship as he's like, okay, everybody get the fuck out. We got to get this transport ship out of here. And the plan is basically blow it up along with himself. Luckily, Rogan is there to knock him out, put him in a safe place, and blow shit up himself and launch the spaceship.
They removed the locks that are holding the shuttle down.
Yeah.
So it'll get sucked out into space. Unfortunately, the last lock will kill the person that removes it. So the doctor is going to do it. As you said, Rogan proves to be heroic. He knocks out the doctor. He removes the final lock and is killed by the exhaust.
I will say, for me at least, his death is a little bit ruined just by the fact that later the doctor says that he was basically shoved in a cupboard.
God.
But at least he serves a purpose in the narrative.
I do
And then for
love
some
that
reason, there's a scene where he looks over and for some reason Hitler's there in the cupboard too.
Dish! I wonder where you were
had to-
going. And it needs to come for, oh no. Oh, it's too late. But
I do love the way this is cut, where you get the rocket booming, like, whoa, a rocket taking off. And then you just cut to silence in space on the
Oh, yeah,
exterior
that's
shot
beautiful.
of Thunderbird 5 as the rocket takes off.
yeah.
That is beautiful.
So
And true to life.
everyone thinks, oh no, the rocket's taken off, the doctor's dead. And he shows up, oh, I'm fine. Yeah, Rogan knocked me out and threw me in a cupboard. But then they get a message, an incoming message. And it's Noah, and he just says, goodbye, Vera. And then the rocket blows up.
Yeah, so he got inside the shuttle.
And
With all the other
he deliberately failed to do something, I don't know, something to do with the rocket. Activate
Put on
the
stabilizers.
thrusters or whatever the fuck. Whatever it is, not activating it would blow up the ship, and Noah deliberately didn't activate it.
He
had that little
sabotages his
spark
own
of
shuttle, yes.
to destroy the Weirin.
And
So
himself.
all the Weirin are dead. Great. So now
Yeah.
everyone on the Ark can be revived and head back down to Earth. Oh, but the transmat's kind of broken.
There is also a nice
What?
little moment where the Doctor sort of tries to make Vera feel better, saying, he proved that in the end, he was still there. Your Noah was still
Yeah.
your Noah. He won out over the Wirren.
Yeah, too bad you won't be able to
Yes.
see him anymore.
I know, but he was trying to make her feel better.
Yeah, yeah.
There's something going wrong with the transmat. It's not quite working. So the Doctor, and along with Harry and Sarah, volunteer to beam on down to Earth and just make sure everything's working fine. So they head and get some warm clothes in the TARDIS, hop on this teleport pad, and yeet on down to Earth. And that's the end of the Ark in space.
Not quite.
And,
The end of the Ark in Space is that Virus shows human emotions.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm reading here on TARDIS Wiki too, which is quite condescending.
They make a big deal out of the fact that Vira, probably because, she's just come out of cryogenic slumber, does not have emotions throughout the whole story.
I mean, even though she completely does.
She kind of does, but she doesn't show any happy emotions.
The goddamn cyber woman.
Don't
I mean, she still shows
even
emotion. She's
there.
extremely upset when Noah is, being all changed.
Yeah,
and
so I'm not
everything.
quite sure where Todd
It's
is
another
coming
not
from.
entirely villainous situation.
Pretty much, because
Yeah.
it says, after they have done so, Vera smiles, the first human emotion she has shown, and then returns to her duties.
The first happy emotion she's shown, not human emotion.
No, it says the first human
No.
emotion she has shown.
I'm not saying that's not what it says. I'm saying they've got it wrong.
Well, yes, that's what I'm saying, too. I'm agreeing with you.
Okay, we'll just leave it there then.
You two like to fight and agree with each other, don't you?
How dare you agree
Well,
with me?
because he doesn't listen. Don't patronize me.
But you're patronising me!
You're patronizing me.
Now you're marrying each other.
Don't
Fuck.
start.
Why don't we sum up the Ark in space?
Okay, whose pick was this? Kat? Do
Mine.
you want to go first?
Sure. Well, much like the story itself is pretty enjoyable. I enjoyed the characters. I enjoyed the dialogue and everything. It's just it has that one little bit to it that when you look back on it, it's like, oh. It's not as bad. Well, maybe it is as bad because it's still pretty. Well, let's just say that it does bring down the episode, but not to the point where we can't mention it, like the other one. It's not blatantly
Yeah.
put it that way. But overall, I enjoyed my time. I really like the idea of the monsters in general, the Wern. I'm not a huge fan of the whole bug thing because I don't really like bugs all that much, but I can deal with it. The Doctor's fantastic as usual. Sarah and Harry's relationship is really fun. Harry Sullivan is an idiot. All good around for me. So, probably not an episode I would watch again just because of the gross parts. Not the parts where Noah's changing, by the way. Just the gross parts.
Yeah, and I know what you mean.
Yeah, but it's not one that I would complain about watching again.
So I think it's fine. Like, obviously problematic, but unlike it doesn't have a whole brigade going for it, and that personal offense that I take from the other aforementioned story. So it hits less for me in that way, but it's still like something you really can't ignore. It's problematic. You acknowledge the flaws and then you decide whether or not you go to town to it, like you like it. Because there are other things to like here. I mean, it's a good space horror story. The weird and there's some good body horror. The effects, while a little hokey and low budget, actually kind of work given the conviction of the acting and whatnot. You know, it's a solid story with some iffy bullshit in it. So, like, you know, you judge for yourself if that condemns the entire thing, if that spoils the broth. But, it's not the worst Doctor Who story I've ever seen in my life. That element does offend me, but not enough to make me say, I never want to watch this fucking thing in my life again. So, judge it for what you will. See if you can enjoy it. It's a good, well-regarded story, so, yeah, overall, fine, I guess. Rain?
Well, before I watched this one, I read something that said that this story was very well regarded. And in fact, some people consider it to be Tom Baker's best. I do not.
I do.
You really can't really watch City of Death and then watch this and think, yeah, this is better than the City of Death, or Pyramids of Mars, or other stories we're going to talk about in the future.
Warrior's Gate.
Warrior's Gate is a very good one, yeah.
It's my favorite Tom Baker story.
And it's not a bad choice, honestly.
I mean, it's
the pacing of part one is very strange, and yet I watched this all in like all parts together, back to back to back,
okay.
And it was over very quickly. So I guess I enjoyed it on a primary level, but just talking about it with you guys and noticing some of the more problematic elements did kind of dip my enjoyment a bit. I can appreciate the writing, I can appreciate the acting. The guy that plays Lazar is a really good actor. I know I've said it before, but he really makes you feel for this man going through this transformation, because when he first turns up, this guy's a jerk. You're like, oh, he's just going to be an obstacle, isn't he? And then he gets taken over and you start to feel for him. And then he gives his big heroic sacrifice at the end of part 4. And yeah, he was actually a hero. He saved humanity. He saved the remaining colonists. And Harry, I kind of have to like Harry despite him being an imbecile. I'm sorry. Like, he's just a well-meaning idiot who's occasionally sexist to Sarah Jane, which is not good. But apart from that...
Apart from the extreme sexism,
yeah,
he's fine.
And he's only in like 5 or 6 stories, so he's not a huge part of Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Well, there's some good in the world.
I mean, the reason why people call him an imbecile is an amazing scene in
the Cybermen episodes.
Attack of the Cybermen. Sorry, Revenge of the Cybermen. Revenge of the Cybermen.
Oh, so the next one.
Revenge of the Cybermen.
No, not the next one.
Yeah.
The end one.
That's why he's called an imbecile. I mean, the Doctor
Yes,
literally
that's
calls him an imbecile in that story. But yeah, as I say, it's perfectly fine, apart from the problematic elements. So, Frezno, it's your choice this time.
Well, would you look at that? All right, I'm not going to troll you too much. You're going to get a good Doctor Who story.
I like the sound of that.
It's a Doctor we haven't covered in a while, and it's a story I've been meaning to do for a while, and sort of a follow-up to another podcast we did about a year or so ago. I don't know if you've ended by now, but I'll just throw it out there.
Oh.
Next time on Doctor Who Reviews, Peter Davison in Kinda.
I knew it was coming. As soon as you said follow-up.
Yeah. We covered...
Well, technically, this is the episode before Snake Dance.
Yeah,
but we're
it's
following up on our podcast.
It's the prequel to Snake Dance, and I know how this one ends. I know why you want to do this. How could you do this to me? No, it's fine. There's a very infamous ending to this story.
Rain, I'm going to tell you right now. Rain, Kat, I'm going to tell you right now. You do not watch the special edition.
Wasn't planning to, because if I remember correctly, you said they replaced the snake.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have to see the original vision.
If I've got the original, I will use the original.
Replacing it with a CGI snake completely misses the fucking gonzo dumb bullshit of it.
And they didn't replace it again when Snake Dance was remastered.
No, they didn't. So what's... The fact that it's a dodgy fucking rubber snake is half of the point of it.
Yes, that's the charm
it's half
of it.
the fun.
But now, Kinder's a good choice.
It's a good story. I mean, you have the ending, which we'll talk about next week, obviously. But also, it critiques colonialism.
And maybe there'll be some shock, a real Kinder surprise.
Oh, for God's sakes!
And on that note, folks, good night.
Rain, where can we find us?
Well, after that pun, if you want to, you can find us at Reviews Doctor. I am so sorry. You can find us at Reviews Doctor on Twitter. You can find me, although you probably shouldn't, at Rainiac the Maniac.
You can find his body behind his house, because I'm lying there right now to murder him for that pun.
For a pun? That's a bit harsh.
You'd be surprised.
Kinder surprised.
Damn it!
Thank you for playing me in, Kat.
Shut up, bitch!
Your check's in the mail.
Damn straight.
You can find Jerry at Freezing Inferno. And you can find Kat at Concave Usurper. And you can send us an email at goandstareatyourself@gmail.com.
You can buy Back to the 11th Hour by Krista McTeer, available on sound.com.
You can find her at Crystalwolf94 on Twitter.
You can find
And I've also
Rainiac
been
watching
streaming.
You can find Rainiac watching Symphogear Episode 2 on Crunchyroll.com.
Yeah, I'm going to have to.
You can find Symphogear on Crunchyroll.com.
Watch Symphogear.
And
You
all
can
that remains is to thank you, the audience, for listening to us talk about the Ark in space.
Oh,
You
one
can
more
find my
plug.
sanity after watching Symphogear someplace
You
else,
can-
because I haven't
You
lost
can
it.
find my book on Symphogear at fresnosravingrants.blogspot.com.
It's not quite a book yet, but hopefully it will become one.
60,000 words. It's a book.
It's a book.
But can you hold it in your hand? Well, technically you can. Yeah, it's a book.
If you
I
put
can
it on a
load that shit
tablet,
up.
yeah.
I can load it up on my tablet right now. So.
I mean, if I put it on my laptop and I hold the laptop in the palm of my hand, I'm holding your book in my hand.
Anyways,
Exactly.
ignoring these two, I've been streaming. I was going to try Wednesday streams. Unfortunately, that's not really going to work out, so I'm mostly going to be streaming on Saturdays. I'm going to try to do streams with friends, including these two morons, or I'm going to try doing more Phoenix. Whatever I could possibly do.
I resent the term moron. No, you're absolutely right. After that joke I made.
No, it was actually really good. I'm just mad that I didn't think of it.
So good that you told me to shut up, bitch.
Yes.
And reduced me to laughing for the next minute. So thank you to you, the audience, listeners, talk about the Ark in space. We hope you enjoyed it. Thank you to Kat and to Jerry for putting up with my bullshit for the past 90 minutes.
And next time, you put up with my bullshit.
Yep, so we'll see you next time for Peter Davison in Kinder, and I'm going to melt into a bathtub because I'm too damn hot. Until next time, bye for now.